Hello everyone, today I'm going to be seeing which First Lady has the best chocolate chip cookie. I'm going to be comparing Barbara Bush's chocolate chip cookie recipe to Michelle Obama's chocolate chip cookie recipe. I'm going to be making Barbara Bush's chocolate chip cookies first, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 sticks of butter, 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 cup of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons vanilla extract, 2 eggs, 2 cups quick cook oats. The recipe also calls for 1 12-ounce bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips, which really needs to be Valrhona chocolate chips, but since I couldn't find any of them because I literally searched every store and they did not have it, I just chopped up some Valrhona chocolate instead. The reason it's really important to use Valrhona chocolate is because that's what makes the cookie according to Barbara Bush. Now some of you might be thinking, what makes Valrhona chocolate so special? Valrhona chocolate is very special because it's made in small batches in France. And since the Valrhona chocolate is made in small batches, it is very high quality. Valrhona chocolate is very expensive though, so if you want a slightly cheaper option, try Utard because they are also very good. They have some very good quality chocolate chips. The first step of our recipe is going to be to sift together our flour, salt, and baking soda all together, and we're just going to sift it onto a tray full of wax paper. And the reason for this, I believe, is so that you can make the flour mixture a little bit more fluffy. Now for our wet ingredients, we're going to add in our butter to a large bowl, as well as our eggs, vanilla, granulated sugar, and brown sugar. And we're just going to cream this all together. Now that our mixture is combined, we're going to go ahead and pour in our flour mixture. And yes, I transferred it to a smaller bowl, so it's much easier to add in versus adding it from a whole thing tray. Now we're just going to stir this up until it's mostly combined. Now that our mixture is combined, we're going to go ahead and add in our oats and chocolate. And again, we're going to mix this until it's thoroughly combined. Now we're just going to scoop our cookie dough onto our tray. Now I'm going to bake our cookies in a 350-degree oven for around 10 minutes or until they're lightly browned, and then once they're done, I'm going to go ahead and transfer them to a wire rack so they can cool down. I just finished baking all of Barbara Bush's cookies, so now I'm going to go ahead and get started on making Michelle Obama's cookies. We're going to need 1 stick of shortening and 2 sticks of butter, 3/4 cup granulated sugar, 3/4 cup brown sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 2 eggs, 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 cups of walnuts, 1 cup each of white chocolate chips, milk chocolate chips, and chopped up Andes mints. Now we're going to add our salt and baking soda into our flour, and we're just going to whisk this until it's combined. Now we're going to add our shortening and butter to a large bowl. Now we're just going to whip it up with our hand mixer until it's nice and smooth. Now we're going to add in our vanilla, as well as our eggs. And we're going to combine this until it's nice and fluffy. Now we're going to add in our sugars. And once again, we're going to combine it until it's fluffy. Now we're going to add in our flour mixture and mix it until it's well combined. Now we're going to add in our walnuts, milk chocolate chips, white chocolate chips, and Andes mints. And now we're just going to carefully combine this all together. Now I'm just scooping our cookies onto our tray, and once I'm finished scooping, we're going to go ahead and bake them. Now we're going to bake our cookies in a 375-degree oven for around 10 to 12 minutes until they're golden brown. I took our first batch of cookies out of the oven, and they looked really flat and really dark. The reason I think the cookies turned out so dark and so thin is because that there was way too much shortening in the cookies, and also I think the temperature was too hot for the oven as well. Since our cookies were too flat and too dark, I decided to lower the oven temperature to 350, and I also added around a 1/4 cup extra flour. So yeah, let's just go ahead and put our second batch of cookies in the oven and see if it turns out a little bit better. I just took the cookies out of the oven and I'm thrilled because they look so much thicker, but now I'm just going to go ahead and put in another batch of the cookies, and this time I'm going to raise the temperature back to 375 because these cookies looked a little bit pale.
One eternity later.
I finally finished baking, and let's just say it took me more than a few hours to bake both of our cookies, so yeah, I'm really excited to try both of our cookies. I'm gonna start by trying Barbara Bush's cookie. Wow, I love Barbara Bush's cookie. It's wonderfully crispy on the outside, and it's nice and soft on the inside. The dough of the chocolate chip cookie just tastes like any other ordinary chocolate chip cookie. However, I definitely like the addition of the oats. They just add to the nice crispiness of the cookie. And yeah, they also add a bit of an oaty and sort of nutty flavor that goes really well with that Valrhona chocolate. And remember what I said at the beginning? Barbara Bush said that the chocolate makes the cookie, and I definitely agree about that. The Valrhona chocolate is key to making this cookie delicious. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. You definitely gotta try this. It was super easy to make as well. Now let's go ahead and try one of Michelle Obama's cookies. I'm really looking forward to this because it took a long time to make and a lot of effort as well. Let's give it a taste. Wow, I definitely enjoyed this cookie. It was definitely worth the time to make it. It did take a while though because I had to make a lot of modifications like adding more flour and changing the cooking temperature, and yeah, it just seemed like a really finicky recipe. If I made this again, I think a really easy modification would just be to skip the shortening entirely and then follow the recipe as it says. And for the taste, this is a wonderfully delicious cookie. I just love the crispy texture. The texture is a lot more brittle than the first cookie, and it definitely breaks apart more in your mouth. Honestly, it kind of melts in your mouth a little bit. And I love the addition of the mint and white chocolate. Yeah, this is just a very unique chocolate chip cookie. If I had to rate the cookie based on the effort to make it, I would give it maybe like a 1 or a 2 because it was extremely hard to make since the recipe seemed very incorrect. However, taste-wise, this gets a 10 out of 10. Definitely try it, and remember, omit the shortening and just use 2 sticks of butter. Then I think it'll turn out well. And the winner of the cookie contest is Michelle Obama. She has the better chocolate chip cookie. The recipe is quite hard to follow, however, the taste was much better. Today was a very long and slightly stressful day making the cookies. However, I think it was definitely worth the payout of these 2 delicious cookies. Anyways, that's gonna do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure if you did to give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.